Salut mes frères et sœurs, salut ceux qui m'écoutent. Je mets cette vidéo-là pour faire un global de toutes les vidéos archives que j'ai que j'ai enregistrées pour montrer que les vedettes d'Hollywood, les films, la musique, les magazines, tout est fait pour c'est de la propagande faite par le mal pour nous guider vers lui, nous guider à aimer qu'est-ce qu'il fait, puis tout ça. Fait que, juste pour vous montrer, mais je vais faire ça. C'est comme un archive que je mets de tout ce que j'ai enregistré de la propagande de mal. Fait qu'on va faire une vidéo à la fois. Ils sont en anglais, ils sont en français. Il y en a qui sont en français. Fait que ayez votre sous-titre des sous-titres sur la vidéo pour comprendre si vous les avez. Sinon, ben, j'essaierai de vous répondre pour vous montrer la vérité. Fait on est parti.
I swear to God, this hand dryer just turned on by itself.
Fait que lui, on dirait qu'il n'y a pas de son. Il monte Einstein Island avec Disney World, Connecting Little Boys, and I will take them to the pleasure island. Epstein Island qui était ici. Ça ressemble à la même affaire, hein. Voyez comment c'est subtil, puis on vous fait croire à ça. Tout est subtil pour le subconscient. Tout est fait pour le subconscient. Regarde, le 666 dans Walt Disney.
This is the most demonic thing I have ever seen taken place at any sporting
En
event in my
Allemagne,
entire
une
life.
équipe de
What you're
soccer.
looking at is a demon being summoned in the crowd on top of a satanic pentagram. There's even demonic chants on the banners below the crowd. What you're looking at is a home game of FC Kaiserslautern, also known as FCK, and they're doing a pre-game ritual. And what you're going to see here is that people are holding up signs, and it creates a satanic pentagram. And as time goes on, you can see the person shifting the camera. On the other side, I believe those words say invincible forever. But then slowly there's a demon that's going to arise. Now, if you look at the bottom, the banners here, they say words in Latin. And if we translate them, let's see what it says. Exaudi nos Lucifer, et surge ex abyss, sume nimas nostra. Oh my gosh, this says, hear us, O Lucifer, and rise from the abyss, take our souls.
Ça, c'est pendant une game de soccer en Allemagne. Tout est vrai, là. Ça a été fait de même.
What the heck? Now they actually say something else as Lucifer is slowly spawning from the crowd. It says, ad lucem nos Lucifer, et surge ex abysso, sume animus nostros. Jesus, forgive me for even saying this, but it says, to light us, O star, and arise from the abyss, take our souls. What the heck? I mean, I don't care if their mascot is like a devil or something, whatever the heck it is. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. There's got to be some evil energy going on in this game. This is the most demonic thing I have.
Hein? Ça, c'est dans une game de soccer en Allemagne qui parle de ça. Puis regardez bien, ça ne sera pas fini. Regardez bien.
Et heureusement pour vous, j'ai l'œil. Et d'abord, on va commencer avec la chanteuse Aïssa qui, comme tu vas le voir, ne se cache même plus. To my brother Jay-Z, Team Rock, Adam Blackstone, Hell's Kitchen, The Most High. C'est quoi ça? Déjà, un homme Jay-Z, et ça veut tout dire. Et puis surtout, il y a ce signe, un
The
signe
most high.
démoniaque. Mais attends, tu vas voir que ce n'est pas la seule qui va faire un truc chelou. Regarde bien derrière au fond de l'écran. Voilà. Qu'est-ce qu'il fait? À votre avis, que veut dire ce signe? Et maintenant, dans la famille satanique, je demande Billie Eilish. Elle était bizarre dans le public, mais regarde sur scène. Et là, observe bien son regard, enfin ses yeux. On est d'accord, cette année, les Grammy Awards 2025 sont vraiment très étranges. Et toi, tu penses quoi? Allez, salut.
Grammys. Ils sollicitent le diable aussi. Hein?
Ariana Grande, comme les autres, est un esclave. Elle se fait reprogrammer en clinique pour rester dans le rôle qui lui est assigné.
They did the Brighter Days memory erasure treatment to me, so I'm having trouble remembering the details. They're foggy because at the Brighter Days clinic, they do the memory erasure, you know?
Les célébrités ne sont pas comme nous. Elles sont fabriquées pour pousser des agendas comme le féminisme et la dégénérescence des genres.
Qu'est-ce que je disais à travers la musique, à travers les films?
C'est pour ça que leurs clips montrent toujours des cliniques, des électrochocs, des drogues et qu'ils parlent de nouvelles personnalités et de
Nouvelles personnalités, des esprits qui prennent possession d'eux autres.
problèmes de mémoire. Ici, il ne s'agit pas de relations amoureuses ou de problèmes d'addiction, mais de reprogrammation. Et leur mise en scène est toujours la même. Clinique, dissociation, nouvelle personnalité.
Un
Pour la
esprit un peu, un
dissociation, il y a
démon qui
tout
rentre
un
en
tas
nous.
de symboles. Sol de dualité noir et blanc, papillon, lapin blanc, cheveux bicolores.
Le sol blanc et noir, ça, c'est la franc-maçonnerie. Le papillon, c'est le monarque. Hein, le monarque. C'est toutes des choses reliées à la franc-maçonnerie.
Masque, miroir,
Masque, c'est la double vie. Parce que quand tu es un franc-maçon, tu fais de la double vie.
mannequin, visage fragmenté, un
Visage fragmenté, c'est parce que tu as plusieurs personnalités en toi que eux autres ont rentré en toi.
décor hypnotique et maçonnique. Maintenant, regardez les clips de Taylor Swift et Ariana Grande. On a les mêmes patterns, scénario, symbolisme. Elles sont sous contrôle mental et passent de l'autre côté. Et c'est de là que vient le pays des merveilles, parce que Alice est en fait un enfant sous contrôle mental. Et c'est pour ça que Britney Spears s'habillait comme Alice ou portait des t-shirts avec marqué Control Freak. C'est aussi de là que vient la phrase Somewhere Over the Rainbow, une chanson qui fait référence à la dissociation des victimes, qui est d'ailleurs chantée par Ariana Grande au début des Oscars 2025.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
Et quel agenda elle pousse avec son nouveau film
I love my queer brothers and sisters so much more than I
Wicked, narratif LGBTQ,
gay. Yeah, everyone is just so beautifully queer.
transhumanisme. Le message est très clair. Soyez des malades mentaux, parce que c'est ça la mode. Donc les célébrités n'ont aucun contrôle sur leur vie. Et vos enfants sont conditionnés à les imiter.
Qu'est-ce que je disais? Mais on n'a pas fini là. On continue.
These celebrities are more than likely in the Illuminati.
Celebrities who are most likely Illuminati. Part 1. Tom Brady. You're telling me this man has won 6 Super Bowls and is maybe the greatest player of all time? There's no way a white boy had any business marrying Giselle. Something's up. Steph Curry, a malnourished shooter who went to Davidson, a liberal arts school with less than 2,000 students, has taken down human cyborg LeBron twice in the finals. Seems highly suspicious. Kris Jenner went from American Airlines flight attendant to creating America's most recognizable family, who are famous for nothing. Now, is this merely plastic surgery or greater forces at work? Seems obvious to me. J.K. Rowling. Now, thousands of authors have penned books about magic, wizards, sorcerers, but why did this one pop off over all the others? Is it even that good? Now, is there any proof that she even actually wrote the books? Think about that. Jay-Z. Anytime a crack dealer becomes a billion-dollar businessman, safe to assume they were boosted by the Illuminati and not hard work or natural talent. This is all the evidence I need.
By the way, this video is scripted and for entertainment purposes only.
Non, c'est
Stay
juste pour
weird.
des divertissements.
Me?
Juste pour instruire, pour le divertissement.
Il y a des lavages de cerveau dans la musique, avec des fréquences et beaucoup d'autres choses que les gens ignorent totalement. C'est comme un mantra. Tu répètes des paroles encore et encore dans l'état alpha. Ça s'ancre dans l'inconscient. Et tu finis par devenir la musique.
Les mantras sont une forme de magie.
Avec des choses qu'on entend seulement quand la musique est en inversé.
Le monde s'inclinera dans le super, tuer Jésus. C'est qu'est-ce qu'il dit, Jay-Z? Pourquoi s'en prendre à Jésus? Puis pourquoi vous un culte à Lucifer? Hein? Vous voyez à quel point il amène notre esprit vers le mal, vers Satan, à travers la musique, à travers les films? Ça, c'est
Et
Beyoncé.
Sacha Fierce, que vous voyez généralement comme la musique single Lady, elle est très différente de moi.
Fait qu'elle avoue qu'elle est possédée par un esprit qui s'appelle Sacha.
We all know that as adults, we don't really have.
Qu'elle se fait posséder. Fait qu'il y a un démon qui prend possession de Beyoncé puis qui chante sur scène. Puis c'est qu'est-ce qu'il dit? Ça, c'est des Deutéronomie 18. There shall not be found among you anyone who make his son, his daughter pass through the fire. Il n'y aura pas un parmi vous qui va passer ses fils et ses filles à travers le feu. Oh, qui pratique la sorcellerie, soothsayer, or one interpret omen, or a sorcerer, or one conjure spell, medium, spiritist, and call up for dead. Les nécromanciens, les spiritistes, les médiums, les psychics qu'on appelle ou qui conjurent des ensorcellements, des enchantements, des sorciers, hein? Euh, Parce que ça va. Fait que tout ce qui est en abomination que le monde fait. Les horoscopes, c'est de l'astrologie. La numérologie, c'est tout un rituel. Ça. C'est tout. Le yoga, c'est tu t'inclines en faisant la position devant un ange déchu qui montre sa position. Les chakras, ça vient du yoga, ben, ça vient de l'hindou. Le kundalini, le tarot, les cartes du tarot, ça avec, parce que c'est des démons familiers qui disent qu'est-ce qui se passe sur la personne. Puis les sorcières sont accros là-dessus parce qu'ils sont capables de dire pinpoint qu'est-ce qui se passe avec toi, mais ils channel, ben, ils ont les énergies démoniaques des démons familiers alentour. L'hypnotisme pour savoir que ça avec l'acupuncture, l'astrologie, le plateau du Ouija, ça peut caster il y a beaucoup d'esprits impurs, fait que ça peut être ça, psychic reading, lire psychiquement, ça avec, ça t'attire les démons familiers à lire sur la personne. Les guides spirituels, là, c'est le nouvel âge, la réincarnation dans un autre animal, ouais, ça c'est un autre Dreamcatcher, ça avec, ça l'ouvre ton esprit des rêves aux démons, ben, il passe à travers ça. Les superstitions, bon, mais vous voyez qu'est-ce que je veux dire, ils sont toutes là. Fait que toutes ces choses-là sont contre Dieu, puis c'est toutes des choses que la TV, la musique est toute promue.
During the 1950s, a man named Chad Powers was a TV producer who had his own show called Sunnyville.
where he played a fictional mayor in a fake town. The whole town was made up of 30,000 actors with only 5 residents, not knowing it was fake, and that they were secretly being filmed on a TV show. The creepy part about the show was that all 5 contestants were put on the show unknowingly. They were all put into medically induced comas and flown out to Antarctica, where the show was being filmed in a 250 square mile metal dome. Everything inside the town was fake or imported from other parts of the world. Chad controlled everything in the town, from the people to even the weather. But by the 3rd season of the show, Chad started causing trouble by creating artificial natural disasters in the town for entertainment purposes, which led to the passing of over 200 actors. At this point, all the actors wanted to leave but couldn't, because they were stuck in a dome. The show also had no purpose anymore, because the 5 contestants were eventually told everything was fake by the actors. Chad was livid about this, and went on the town's news channel and told everyone that they all signed contracts and couldn't leave. This caused a revolt, and everyone went searching for Chad. A fellow producer named Ken Dahl, who was not happy with what Chad was doing, granted access to the rooftop of the dome where Chad was hiding, and the revolting actors were able to find Chad. When they confronted him, he begged, saying, "It's just showbiz, my friends." Not happy with that response, the actors grabbed Chad and threw him off the top of the dome, and he was never seen again. Over the next few weeks, the town was fully evacuated and then demolished.
Truman Show.
Cancel all the
Ça,
plans. You have the 20.
ça montre une chose, hein? La vérité. En ce moment, le vrai show, c'est nous autres. Parce que les élites nous voient comme ça. Sauf qu'ils ne nous diront pas comme un producteur puis les acteurs que c'est du fake. Parce que les acteurs, les Hollywoodiens, ils payent.
Since we were born. And I'll give you some examples. Let's start with the big one. Let's start with words we hear all the time and never even think about. Let's start with the word entertainment. To entertain. What does that mean? To bind or hold. To bind or hold what? An audience's attention. Okay, now let's take the word Hollywood. Where does that come from? Well, Hollywood comes from the holly tree. And the ancient Druids, back in the day, used to take the holly tree, make wands to weave spells, cast spells, or channel spells. What do we have in our houses? TVs. But if you stop and you say the word television, television. And when you turn on that television, what do you get? What's the first thing that pops up? A list of channels. And when you turn on those channels, what's on those channels? Programming. They are programming you. They've been programming your whole life. You don't even know it. They do it with your music. They do it with your TV. They do it with your movies. They do it with your games. They have been programming us and programming you since you were little, and you don't even know it because you don't even question it.
Qu'est-ce que Dieu a dit? Tu t'agenouilleras pas devant aucune statue. C'est des statues égyptiennes, les Oscars. Hmm? Vous voyez à quel point qu'on est amené lentement dans notre esprit à accepter les choses qui ne devraient pas être acceptées.
Is that I have had some conversations with someone, a once upon a time very powerful someone, and I am now going to jog your memory on who exactly it is that I'm speaking about, the subject of my next series. Take a listen.
I want to start by thanking Harvey Weinstein for organizing this amazing day.
Who is Harvey Weinstein? Or better yet, who was Harvey Weinstein? Harvey Weinstein was born in 1952 to Miriam and Max Weinstein, a diamond cutter from New York. Harvey grew up in Flushing, Queens, and then attended State University at Buffalo College before deciding to drop out and form a music production company with his brother, Bob Weinstein. They were focused on the independent production of rock concerts through the 1970s. But in 1979, the brothers pivoted and formed Miramax, a company they had named after their parents, which had a focus on independent films. They received their big break into the industry in 1990 with the biographical drama My Left Foot, which earned the company its first pair of Academy Awards. The Hollywood floodgates had opened. Miramax went on to produce a string of critically acclaimed films, including The Crying Game, Pulp Fiction, The English Patient, Life is Beautiful, Shakespeare in Love, and Chicago, to name a few.
Chicago!
This led to an unprecedented 10 years in a row of producing an Oscar-nominated film for Best Picture.
I would like to thank Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein, who believed in us and made this movie.
Thank you, Harvey Weinstein.
Especially Harvey and Bob Weinstein.
I want to thank the Mishpucha Weinstein.
An analysis found that Harvey Weinstein had been thanked or praised 34 times, as many times as God. And that makes sense when you come to understand that within the pagan culture of statue worship, Harvey Weinstein was a god.
I just want to thank my agent, Kevin Uvain, and God, Harvey Weinstein.
With seemingly unlimited access to not only A-list actors, but also heads of state. He had it all: power, wealth, and artistic success. This meant that within Tinseltown, Harvey could make or break a career, and no one knew that better than Harvey.
One car, me and Bob De Niro will take care of it. Well, that's good.
Have a good night, man.
But cracks began to emerge, first with rumors of impropriety spun as jokes.
Congratulations, you five ladies no longer have to pretend to be attracted to Harvey Weinstein.
Of course, Harvey had built up a wall of political power around him that seemed impossible to penetrate, thanks in large part to his philanthropic endeavors, as well as his relationships with leading politicians. That is until the fall of 2017, when Harvey's world came crashing down. On October 5th, two reporters from the New York Times, Megan Twohey, yes, that Megan Twohey, and Jodi Kantor, published a report detailing decades of sexual abuse. This report was followed up by Ronan Farrow publishing a piece in The New Yorker. Suddenly, more than 80 women began publicly accusing Harvey Weinstein of sexually abusing or sexually assaulting them. The media went into a frenzy. The Me Too movement had been ignited. In the blink of an eye, Harvey Weinstein lost his company, his marriage, and eventually his freedom, trading in red carpets for perp walks. A-list actors and actresses did an about-face.
It's just that horrible ass boil that does not go away.
Hollywood turned its back on their beloved Harvey. But was the public told the truth? You're just going to have to take my word when I tell you that no, the public was not told the entire truth about this story. And the Harvey Weinstein story runs very deep. I can tell you that without flinching. In fact, I pride myself on never believing the media, always investigating things further. But I can admit, I fully fell for the narrative as it pertained to Harvey Weinstein, mostly because, first and foremost, there were just too many women, right? There were too many women that were all saying the exact same thing. Truthfully, I didn't even know why he was in prison or who specifically among the many women that had come out with all of these allegations and accusations against him had been the one, the two, or the three that actually got him into prison. I just knew somewhere in the back of my mind that he had to have done something, because 80 plus women, like I said, is just too many. And by the way, that's kind of the point. It's a very effective media strategy that's been employed by the media since the 1930s. Those of you that are in the book club, in my book club, you know, one of the books that we're reading is Hollywood Babylon. And it really woke me up to the fact that when Hollywood wants to hide something, they flood the media with so much information and so many different possibilities and so many stories that people can't think. The public can't think. Our minds just become cluttered and we just accept whatever it is that they're trying to tell us to accept. I want to say this because this is the craziest part of this. Harvey Weinstein and I are, of course, an extremely unlikely pairing, okay? We have nothing in common virtually. He is emblematic of Hollywood, and I absolutely despise Hollywood, truly. He gave millions of dollars away over his lifetime to the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. I am literally on the ADL's list for being Adolf Hitler as of last year, okay? He also gave to every Democratic presidential nominee, and I'm a committed Republican. So I really want you guys to imagine he and I having conversations over a prison line. I want your imaginations to really run wild with what that conversation might have looked and sounded like. And I want to tell you more about that today. There is so much that I want to tell you about those conversations as we begin to unfold this series. I will. Currently, we're just in a little bit of a legal hold. But suffice it to say that 2 years ago, when we had our first conversation, I was convinced that Harvey Weinstein was guilty of something. And to be clear, Harvey Weinstein is not Justin Baldoni. Okay, when you come down this series, you're not going to be like, Harvey Weinstein's my cousin, kombucha. No, none of that. Okay, he's not some puppy who got kicked by a swarm of bullies. Harvey was a bully, who I believe may have stepped on the toes of a bigger bully, a network of bullies, so to speak. Many people forget, but Hollywood was founded upon gangs. And as a part of this investigation into the larger Me Too movement, I have now spoken to actresses, singers, Backstreet Boys, you name it, many of whom believe that the Me Too movement consists of something that's akin to a criminal network. Journalists acting as the hitmen, paid off law firms, which assist in corporate shakedowns, essentially a cartel of sorts that's operating in plain daylight, using a movement about sexual abuse to wrangle publishing rights and ownership away from certain people. So what do I believe today? Well, we'll get into it also as a part of this series, but I believe Michael Jackson also strongly asserted something similar, said something's going on here in Hollywood. And then he was swiftly met with media allegations, so many allegations, too many allegations of pedophilia, and then a highly publicized trial, criminal trial to that effect. So yeah, I believe the media has been used for longer than we're willing to admit to take down certain people or companies for reasons that are not immediately clear to the public. And regarding Harvey Weinstein, after looking into the case for years, I believe that his New York case was rightfully overturned. And that this time, the public, and I'm now calling on you, TikTokers, citizen journalists, as I start giving you these facts and giving you information that the courts did not allow into the courts, you better pay close attention because he's about to be retried, and I will guarantee you that you will be as absolutely shocked as I was. I really do believe that TikTokers, mommy sleuths, it's time to start looking into journalists, Megan Twohey, Jodi Cantor, Ronan Farrow, learn a bit about these families, their families. Where did these people come from? Why are they being given Pulitzers? I expect Harvey Weinstein's case in Los Angeles, which he has appealed, is also going to be overturned. And I know that saying all that right now, today, probably sounds insane to you, probably as insane as it sounded a year ago when I said, hey, Brigitte Macron is a biological male. And now many people are realizing that didn't sound so insane.
Brigitte Macron est une transgenre, c'est pas la première femme à aller être au pouvoir avec son mari qui est Emmanuel Macron. Mais il y a Barack Obama qui est avec Michelle Obama qui était Michael Obama. Ouais, une première dame pendant Barack Obama était là. Ça s'appelle, c'est un transgenre. Michelle qui était Michael.
So trust me, I have the receipts. I would never say such things without receipts. And the receipts here are long and they are dark. And it just points to something really nefarious going on in Hollywood that has tentacles everywhere. And I will say this, in many ways, Harvey made it very easy to take him down because he was
Vous voyez, elle dit qu'il y a beaucoup d'affaires qui se passent à Hollywood. Il faut checker ça. Là, c'est juste pour vous montrer à quel point. hein, le dieu Moloch. Qu'est-ce que je parlais dans mon affaire? Le faux dieu. C'est là-dedans des générations c'est ici à Bohemian Grove qui brûlent des enfants pour savoir à chaque mandat quel président des États-Unis qu'ils vont instaurer. Puis vous voyez à quel point dans la ville, ça c'est la ville, Washington, si je ne me trompe pas, puis ça c'est la Maison-Blanche. Vous voyez le hibou. Puis si vous voulez voir, il y a le signe de la franc-maçonnerie ici. Fait que vous voyez à quel point Washington a été construit par des francs-maçons. Tout était selon les plans des francs-maçonneries. Juste pour dire, juste pour vous montrer à quel point que ils nous cachent des choses, puis ils nous montrent des choses, ils montrent ce qu'ils veulent, mais ils amènent notre esprit à penser comme leur esprit tordu. Écoutez bien, Gina Jolie.
There's like everybody, all different types of sexual, but there's that thing where it's like a lot of people
C'est her website. She has the
like explain to people how like whereas more like you're tied down because you need to like be able to like so you gotta keep still like fights that's what that like the shield what you need like for something. So it comes from a real place of like yeah, as opposed to being accessories or something. The good tattoos are great. Like I've always had them. There's like that time where people say, "Oh, I have tattoos," but after a while, like you can explain them, make your needs, and it's just
Justin Bieber avait un tatou des hiboux, mais là, pour le moment, il ne pouvait pas l'expliquer. Il disait juste ceux qui le savent, ils le savent. Et elle vient de me dire la même affaire, il y en a qui se font des tatous, que plus tard, il peut expliquer, mais pas pour le moment.
comes from that real place. So that I'm sure right over that night. Oh, or like the
What?
I would film these if there. I would encourage like everybody, all different types of sexual. But there is that thing where like a lot of people just
c'est her website. She has the
How back Disney executive mentioned on Vic.
набивать брюхо человеческой плотью, а карманы деньгами. Но они должны понять,
C'est Poutine qui dit
что
quelque chose.
спал вампиров.
Oh,
Travis Scott, Animal, Disney, la série, hein? La série du Père Noël, là, qui est sur Disney. Il contrôle le média, contrôle the mind.
Do you
Exact.
know that Rothschild that just passed away in the mountains of California?
Je ne parlerai pas des Rothschild tout de suite, je parle de propagation, de qu'est-ce qu'ils font eux. Et Oreo, hein, le logo, un symbole. Comme on a vu au début, mais là, vous les voyez plus. Mario a des gants, Maximus a des gants, Sonic a des gants. Symbole, là, qui voit tout, Satan. TV, encore, I'm Not Your Mother, Jennifer Lopez, là, avec le carrelage blanc et noir, c'est maçonnique. Les signes maçonniques que les élites font. Hein, le Rock, ça, Jay-Z, Beyoncé, avec Baphomet, les Illuminati, Moloch, avec les gouvernements, hein, les mains. Trump est là-dedans en plus. Le Vatican, dans les chevaliers, les Templiers, qui sont avec Baphomet, parce que si vous suivez l'histoire des Templiers, à la fin, ils vont au culte à Baphomet. Puis c'est un Templier qui monte à Aleister Crowley, qui avait créé un poème, la fin du poème satanique qu'il avait créé, qui avait été induit par Satan. tête de serpent dans le Vatican Hall. Vous voyez à quel point que le Vatican est corrompu. Hein? Ils font voir, c'est tout dans votre face, c'est tout dans votre face, mais vous ne le voyez juste pas. Contre un Jésus qui est assez tordu, merci. On continue. Ça, c'est tout des symboles, des musiques, tout ça.
Popular music artists who passed away at an early age. This rapper gone at the age of 21. This rapper at the age of 20. This rapper at the age of 26. This one also gone at the age of 20. This rapper gone at the age of 24. Tupac gone at 25. This man at the age of 33. Him gone at 26. And when you look at all this, it makes you wonder, what is really going on here? Well, I want to piece this puzzle together as I walk you through this so that we can get at the root of this mystery. First of all, let us start with a shocking confession from this rapper who is still alive, and what he says does confirm a lot of my suspicions. The my things that I chose to be a part of. So that I said that I'm a good, but won't be able to go. Probably at the same time, that I understand using the time. What he says next is even more shocking. She becomes the instruction to you. And time she becomes the instruction to you. Time. So called, right?
The Grammy Awards. You watch some of these big concerts and music videos where they are putting satanic symbolism right in your face. They are practicing witchcraft on the stage right in front of you. You're watching a football game or an award show and with your kids, and now whammo, straight evil coming straight at you. We've all seen this now. Somebody has to counter that. You know, these guys have all these massive budgets. The entertainment value, the ability to produce those things at such a high level, it's impossible to look away from it. You know, it's like boom, pow, huge special effects, all this stuff, and everybody's just mesmerized, and it's going right into them. So on Revelation,
why? Why are they pushing Satan worship on television?
Because they're doing the work of their father, just like I am.
Wow. And there's kind of no denying. I mean, they're not getting richer by pushing satanic symbols.
Sure they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the industry, you know, the way those movie industries, music industries, all of that. Now, not everybody in those industries obviously is, you know, some kind of a Satan worshiper or something, but there's a lot of that in there. There's a lot of that in there, and they've spent decades programming us from a young age to think those things are fine and normal, and they get rewarded for that. I looked up his record just to see what Eminem's doing. One of the titles on his record is just called Evil. One is called Lucifer, and one is called Antichrist. How crazy is that?
Now, I know that you've heard a lot of talk out there of how many of these people who get involved with the worldly secular music business worship the evil one in return of fame, money, and power. This rapper that you just listened to, in a way, just confirmed this. And it's not the only one.
If your ultimate goal is to be famous, then you're going to do a lot to get there, like sign your name in blood in a contract with the devil.
And when you say this, other people say, well, that's just your opinion, or you're speculating, or you're believing a silly conspiracy. Well, I want to put an end to those rebuttals against this claim that many of these people have actually given themselves over to the evil one, because I'm about to bring a lot of shocking evidence to the table, evidence that is really compelling. So brace yourself. But first, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to this channel if you've been watching my videos without subscribing, and hey, go ahead, leave a comment on what you think about this whole issue of people who are in the secular music industry passing away prematurely. And also share this video so that this video can be pushed to many people who are still bound by the filthy secular music that is consumed by millions all over the world. Because my goal is that after seeing all this, you can either choose to follow the Lord Jesus Christ, who is the light, or you can choose the way of darkness, which leads to eternal destruction. I don't want you to choose the latter. Now, with that said, I want to take you back to the 1900s. And here, we are dealing with a case of someone who passed away too soon
as well. That's none other than Robert Johnson, who, as reported, once stood at the Mississippi crossroads and sold his soul to the evil one in exchange for unique
Il en parle dans la série Supernaturelle.
musical gifts. Now, many have jokingly reported this story.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a rich history of the devil in rock and roll. It goes all the way back to like Elvis was everyone said he's like the devil's music. You know, what was that great song? The devil went down to Joe. Oh, Charlie Daniels. He had some devil in there, and it goes even back to before that. It was Robert Johnson, right? And you can find the roots, you know, way back to the beginning of rock, and so.
Jack Black s'y connaît en tabarouette, ça, on s'attend. Vous avez juste regardé les derniers films qu'il a fait. Il s'y connaît en tabarouette.
Have we sold our soul to the devil? How else can you explain us being here on it?
However, since Jesus says that you shall know somebody by their fruit, Robert's fruits of darkness are evident in his lyrics, and this shows that Robert probably might have actually sold his soul. Now, tragically for Robert, he passed away at the age of 27. I believe the darkness that he embraced finally.
Le deal, c'est que quand tu deviens populaire puis tout ça, Satan il vient chercher ton âme. C'est pour ça qu'à un moment donné, pendant les Oscars, avec Will Smith, quand il parlait à propos de la maladie de sa femme, l'autre, il dit, va pas trop, hey, fais attention, faut pas te dire super hot, parce que sinon, Satan va venir chercher ton âme.
Contributed to his early demise. Another music artist who passed away at the age of 27 as well was Jimi Hendrix from the 60s. Many of you probably know about him. There's an expose done on him that is really revealing. Watch this.
Jimi Hendrix, who claimed to be a voodoo child, stated, quote, things like witchcraft, which is a form of exploration and imagination that's been banned by the establishment and called evil, was because people are frightened to find out the full power of the mind. The satanic powers Hendrix unleashed through his music, though, were absolutely destructive. Jimi Hendrix opened himself up to demonic beings who used him to initiate the hippie youth into the counterculture revolution. Alan Douglas, the executive curator of Hendrix's musical estate, admitted his spirit possession.
Now, one of the biggest things about Jimmy was what he believed in. He believed that he was possessed by a dominant spirit. And I got to believe it myself. And that's what we have to deal with.
Comme Beyoncé, comme Jay-Z, comme tous les grands chanteurs qui parlent démoniaque, comme Ariana Grande,
I always talk about
Taylor Swift, tout ça, c'est tout procédé.
control over it. He didn't know what made him act the way he acted and what made him say the things he said and songs and different things like that just come out of him, you know. And
nous, les chrétiens, on se laisse guider par le Saint-Esprit pour parler de Dieu, sa parole, avec amour. Eux se laissent posséder pour créer des chansons qui sont contre Dieu. Qu'est-ce que Satan était? Il était le divertisseur des cieux. Dieu l'a créé pour se divertir. Il y avait des instruments gravés à son corps pour qu'il chante et qu'il divertisse. Là, il fait avec les humains pour divertir les humains, pour que tout le monde lui voie un culte.
Watch this. Barry Manilow. And I'm not going to get into his personal orientation on life right now, but he did come out of the closet a few years ago. But let me show you the lyrics for one of his songs. It's a song that every one of us have probably heard. The song is called I Sing the Songs That Make the Whole World Sing. Let the lyrics come up there so you can see them. I've been alive forever, and I wrote the very first song. I put the words and the melodies together. I am music, and I write the songs. I write the songs that make the whole world sing. I write the songs of love and special things. I write the songs that make the young girls cry. I write the songs. I write the songs. My home lies deep within you, and I've got my own place in your soul. Now, when I look out through your eyes, I am young again, even though I'm very old. Oh, my music makes you dance and gives you spirit to take a chance.
C'est vrai, ça
And I
parle de
wrote some
mettons,
rock and roll so
et
you
cette
can listen.
chanson-là à travers lui.
Music fills your heart. Well, that's a fine place to start. It's from me. It's for you. It's from you. It's for me. It's a worldwide symphony. I write the songs. That was Satan speaking through Barry Manilow.
Another very interesting case here
Voyez?
is with Eminem. Many of his lyrics are either making light of evil or glorifying it. One of the lines from his Wicked song, that is Role Model, has the following. He writes, and I quote, "Follow me and do exactly what the song says. Smoke weed, take pills, drop out of school, kill people and drink. Jump behind the wheel like it was still legal." That's really disturbing. In another song, he says,
Listen, in his song I'm Back, he declares, quote, "I take each individual degenerate's head and reach into it just to see if he's influenced by me and if he listens to music. And if he feeds into this flag, he's an innocent victim and becomes a puppet."
I mean, you think about those words and you're like, what? And when you step back a little bit and look at the influence of darkness of these rappers and how they themselves are consumed by darkness, this whole premature death issue starts to make sense. Now let's go to the real meat of this issue and to what I think takes place most of the time that leads to the premature passing away of many of these rappers. But first, there's a clip I played months back of Kanye West shockingly admitting to other famous people sacrificing others for fame.
My mama was sacrificed. You understand? Yeah. Michael Jordan, what about him? His dad, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You're out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize.
When it comes to discipline, you have to sacrifice loved ones.
Now, back to the sacrifice thing, I'm sure that you've heard something like this. I'm sure that you've heard that there are people who actually sacrifice other people to the evil one for fame. But what exactly are the details? Do celebrities actually go to hell to meet with the devil, or do they have an out-of-body experience where they meet the enemy face to face in order to sign deals, as they jokingly admit at times, as seen here?
Hey, I have a question. Has anyone here ever actually been to hell?
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone?
Of course, yeah.
What's it like? Wow, that is terrible. But if it's so bad, why did you all go there?
Well, Jimmy, hell is where our agents make our deals with the devil.
Oh, that explains that.
Well, I know someone who was in such a position in the past, and I've looked intently into her account, and I think she's onto something.
When I was introduced to one of the popular celebrities in Uganda, I realized that no, life is spiritual. These people add spirituality to their music. For their music, or for them to be so popular or successful in the industry, they either have to be in the kingdom of God or in the kingdom of darkness. There is nothing like being in between. And those that are trying to make it with their talent are going to be struggling throughout. But the people that are deeply involved into witchcraft or sorcery are the ones at the top. So tell us a bit about that. And one of the musicians I was working with was given up to 35, and at 35 he was killed.
Now, to say that these rappers are actually in contact with the evil one, and some of them work consciously for the evil one who assigns them tasks of pushing his agenda, and are even told that they'll be killed after a certain time, to say all of that is not a stretch. I want you to listen to the strange ways these two former rappers predicted their demise.
Biggie Small, this is a song he put out right before he died. He said, "As I grab the Glock, put it to your headpiece, one in the chamber, the safety's off release, straight to your dome homes. I want to see cabbage. Biggie Smalls the savage, doing your brain cells much damage. I'm ready to die, and nobody can save me. Blank the world, blank my moms and my girl. My life is played out like a Jerry curl. I'm ready to die." Tupac, right before he died, came out with this song. "I see death around the corner. The pressure's getting to me. I no longer trust my homies. Them phonies tried to do me. Smoking too much weed got me paranoid and stressed. Pack a gat in my vest under my clothes when I dress. Here's hoping I die the way I live, straight thugging. Hugging my trigger for all them niggas that was bugging. And even if I die young, who cares? All I got was mean mugs and cold stares. I can't give up, although I'm hopeless. I think my mind's gone. All I can do is get my grind on. Death.
Vous voyez, tous ces jeunes rappeurs qui sont morts avant parce qu'ils ont fait un pacte avec le diable. Un coup que le diable a eu qu'est-ce qu'il veut, il va te dropper comme une vieille chaussette, puis il va te tuer. Puis tout, qu'est-ce ils ont fait, c'était pour le diable, pour amener le monde à avoir un esprit pour accepter le diable dans leur vie. Mais c'est pas ça qu'il faut. Il faut revenir à Dieu. Dieu nous a toujours aimés, puis il a toujours fait partie de notre vie. Nos arrière-grands-parents étaient avec Dieu. Mais là, avec le temps, avec la technologie, tout ça, ils nous ont programmés à plus voir Dieu, à plus entendre Dieu. C'est à nous à déprogrammer ça. On continue avec d'autres vidéos.
They have been desensitizing us since we were born. And I'll give you some examples. Let's start with the big one. Let's start with words we hear all the time and never even think about. Let's start with the word entertainment.
Ah, ça, on vient de le voir. J'ai pas besoin de vous le remontrer. Euh, signe de Baphomet, le signe du Pentacle, le Quetouin. Ça, c'est Shakira. Forrest Gump. Le signe des mecs. C'est que Tom Hanks est là-dedans. Ouais, le côté spirituel, vous voyez, comme la sonnerie de week-end. Ben, ouais. Tous des artistes, ben, tous les chanteurs, les groupes de chanteurs, tout ça qui montent dans un Corinthien 10, verset 12. On expose une photo de toutes les Timberlake, de Jacket, Taylor Swift, Mixolydian, toutes les The Weeknd, Nas, hein. Tous ceux qui travaillent pour Satan. Il y a pas de... Non, ils veulent que vous en fassiez partie, ils veulent que vous acceptez Satan comme eux, ils l'ont accepté. C'est pas des faux prophètes, mais ils travaillent pour leur père. Conspiration terroriste, l'élite du monde font partie d'un culte rituel. Ceux qui ne croient pas, les normales, là, yeah, right. Les élites, regarde. Hein, Klaus Schwab avec Bohemian Grove et Pine Island, et tous ceux qui font des signes francs-maçonniques, puis vous l'avez tout dans votre face. Mais on ne peut pas le voir.
Do TV shows have real witchcraft? Listen to this writer from the originals and Vampire Diaries.
That's a real witching of New Orleans, and you're playing with fire, you gotta change up your chant. It's true. So in season one, when I was the writer's assistant, I wrote the chant. And I would go online and like look up spells. Like, wow. And then I'd like change a couple of words. I'd like.
Fait que ça qui a créé The Original, la série de Vampire Diaries, The Originals, a pris des chants sorceliques, puis a changé quelques mots dedans, puis a laissé des chants là-dedans. C'est qu'est-ce que ça a fait que.
They got a spell. They like go and change a couple words to French, a couple words to like Creole, words like Haitian Creole.
Les chants étaient plus en français et en créole. Le voodoo.
You get like difficult. You Google and translate Haitian Creole, and then like wrote Latin. And I was just like,
Après ça, ils l'ont changé en latin.
and then we got a call from a woman in New Orleans who was like, I think that you're playing with fire. I think that you're, what are you trying to do? You're putting spells in everybody's living room all across America.
Qu'est-ce que tu essaies de faire? C'est de mettre un spell dans tout le monde aux États-Unis à travers ton show. Tu joues avec le feu.
Like we were like the first.
Tu donnes une malédiction à tous ceux qui regardent ton show.
And then I started thinking she's a little weirder.
Share this video. Do TV shows have real witchcraft? Oops.
Est-ce que les TV utilisent la sorcellerie? Oui.
Now this is scary. Do you know what Nickelodeon means in Latin? Just wait. You're not going to believe this. When you search up the word Nickelodeon in Google Translate and convert it to English, it says, I don't care about God. This is actually true. You can check for yourself. I will no longer be watching Nickelodeon.
Vous voyez, Nickelodeon, quand vous le faites en latin, ça veut dire I don't care about God. À quel point qu'ils vous mettent des choses devant votre face, mais vous ne connaissez pas la connaissance, puis qu'ils vous disent des choses contre Dieu. Le cheval de l'Antéchrist, le cavalier de l'Apocalypse, aux Jeux olympiques 2024, dans votre face. La statue de liberté, je parlais dernièrement. Hein? L'Ukraine a demandé à elle d'être leur ambassadrice tellement que l'Ukraine est dans le nazisme et le satanisme. Comme je parlais là, des rockstars qui faisaient des parties là, satanistes, c'est ça. Regarde, vous avez vu? Mm.
2024 is wild, you guys.
Hein, les Jeux olympiques, ça en montre beaucoup aussi. Hein?
This is what's really happening when you listen to the radio.
Songs are spells. That's what chants means. If you look in French, the word chants means song, but it also means a spell.
Comme dans la vidéo qu'on a vue au début, il y a pas longtemps, avec celle qui a créé la série des Originals, qui a pris des chants de voodoo, tout ça, puis qui a mis ça dans les Originals, puis qui cursait le monde à travers leurs chants. Fait que les chants, les chansons, c'est ça.
The things that we say, that's why they say you got to be careful. Life and death resides in the tongue. Everything that we say holds value, it holds weight, and it has the ability to trigger things.
Be careful what
So
you
imagine
listen
you take that and you put that to melody, and you put that to song that holds you and rocks you. Whatever is embedded in that sound is now embedded in you. It's been proven scientifically. The human mind cannot refuse any information transferred through sound. Now think about all of these records that when you listen to them, you heard them a million times, whether you liked it or not. Matter of fact, how many songs did you not like that you ended up liking later? And I hated the song. That's all. They kept playing it. You had no choice but to like it.
What do you think?
Hungry me.
This is what's really.
Encore sur la programmation avec les chants sorcelleries et tout ça. Les Olympiques 2014-2024. Nous, on fait une copie, mais en version transhumaniste. Hein, le woke style. Ça, vous me dites pas à moi qu'il n'y a pas de propagande puis qu'il n'y a pas de. Ils ne vous forcent pas à accepter les choses. Dans de la franc-maçonnerie, là, toutes les stuff. Je ne reviens pas comment que, ils nous ont vraiment. Les copies là, de le souper de Jésus pour essayer de se moquer de Jésus, de ses apôtres. Dans pas long, ils vont pleurer pour tout ce qu'ils ont fait. Il y a une différence entre 2014 et 2024 hein, les Jeux olympiques.
Like, there are two of them. These are from our lab in Burn.
2012 Olympics opening ceremony has to be one of the most creepiest performances I have ever seen. I'm talking about the one done by the National Health Service. The performance starts with hundreds of hospital beds all over the stage. There's nurses reading them bedtime stories before they go to bed. After they're done reading them the bedtime story, they eventually tuck all the kids into bed. Once this is done, they do this interesting little dance. And then it cuts to the scene where there's this girl under her covers reading a book. And when everyone's asleep, the demons start to come out. The camera keeps cutting to her and then to the demons as they multiply, alongside other creepy things. Guessing this is a big cage to trap everyone. The girl that was reading the bedtime story then gets lured up by this massive demon that spawns out of nowhere. Say what you want. I don't care what children's book or children's movies this is from. This is flat out creepy. Demons then make their way to the children's bed, scaring them and making them run away. Then the nurses become like possessed. They all start doing this weird robotic motion of dancing. The stage was made up of newspaper headlines and there were subliminal messages all over the flooring. It's hard to read them, but you can go watch the original video and look at them yourself.
Voyez, dans votre face. Ça, c'est pendant les shows des 2012 des Jeux olympiques et vous mettez dans votre face. On ne voit pas parce qu'on pense que c'est un spectacle. On ne comprend pas.
Une cérémonie qui a suscité de nombreuses réactions, à vrai dire. Beaucoup ont émis des critiques quant aux images de décadence et certaines scènes provocatrices, malheureusement, Smaïn.
Oui, on sentait quand même la provocation dans certaines scènes, spectacles ou danse. Donc, mais on retiendra aussi que il y avait quelques couacs, ce qui a un peu suscité les critiques à travers le monde. Hein, et beaucoup ont critiqué cette réussite de la cérémonie, si on peut dire comme ça.
Absolument. Je vous invite à suivre à présent ce compte rendu de Melbourne. Scandaleux, humiliant, honteux. Les mots ne manquent pas pour qualifier la cérémonie d'ouverture des JO de Paris qui a suscité une avalanche de critiques et une vague d'indignation dans la presse internationale et sur les réseaux sociaux. Censée célébrer en beauté les valeurs universelles du sport, la cérémonie d'ouverture diffusée à des heures de grande écoute a été marquée par des scènes outrageantes et blasphématoires. Sur les réseaux sociaux,
Ce qu'on avait dit sur les chants qui montent, qui chantent, puis tout ça, c'est comme un spell. Et quand ils vous montrent la décadence comme ça, c'est pour vous encourager à être aussi décadent que ça, pour votre esprit s'être décadent.
Les réactions n'ont pas tardé à fuser. Plusieurs personnalités et internautes se sont dit scandalisés, dénonçant une mise en scène irrespectueuse où les valeurs et principes religieux ont été bafoués, offensant des millions de personnes dans le monde. Exprimant leur consternation et leur indignation, ils ont évoqué une cérémonie occulte à ciel ouvert, portant atteinte à la dignité humaine avec des références sataniques qui ont déshonoré l'esprit même des Jeux olympiques. Plusieurs chaînes de télévision, notamment américaines, ont d'ailleurs décidé de couper la diffusion de cette cérémonie, considérée comme un spectacle de décadence, provocateur et extrêmement irrespectueux. De leur côté, la Hongrie et la Russie ont critiqué la cérémonie d'ouverture de ces JO, incarnant selon eux le vide occidental. Une cérémonie.
Fait que ça vous en dit long, hein? Ça le dit. Occulte et satanique. Le veau d'or, hein? Le veau d'or, c'est qu'est-ce qu'Israël a construit pendant que Moïse était en train d'aller chercher les 10 commandements. parce qu'ils voulaient avoir un dieu fait devant eux ou un culte à ce dieu-là parce qu'il serait genre devant eux. Fait que le veau d'or, c'est qu'est-ce que ça représente? Parce que Dieu a dit dans ses 10 commandements, tu n'auras pas d'image du ciel, de la terre et de la mer devant toi. Tu n'ajureras pas devant aucune statue, aucun vitraux, aucun fond Dieu, car je suis un Dieu jaloux. Fait que quand tu montres ces choses-là, c'est comme genre, tu ne rends pas culte à Dieu, tu rends culte à toi-même. Je pense qu'on l'a assez vu, là. Descendant. Les Jeux olympiques étaient vraiment très...
Controlled by the Illuminatis. It's absolute satanic. Some guy comes from America, or he's a rapper, or he's a celebrity. The whole world goes and they pay big money just to see and watch nonsense, evilness. Hollywood was established for one thing, to brainwash humanity and take it away from God. Believe me, believe me, believe me. It was made for one reason, to brainwash millions upon millions upon millions of young men and women and take them away from the true divine God, because you have no idea. Music, my beloved, entertainment comes and enters through the back door of your imagination. It's a form of hypnosis.
Seen this video where this guy draws a flat earth?
Regarde-tu les vidéos, les photos de ceux qui... Hein?
Basically, the movie is about Jack joining the Bohemian Grove and selling his soul to be a famous talk show host. He is shown with the other elite worshiping the owl god, and he is then given a successful late night show. But in order to make it to the top position, he has to sacrifice someone he loves to the owl god. His wife is then sacrificed, but unfortunately for Jack, he didn't really love his wife as he was cheating on her with the parapsychologist. This is why the owl god showed up to collect his soul at the show. We all know this story very well, as many of Hollywood's biggest celebrities have echoed this same story. What Jack did in this movie is a representation of what these celebrities are doing for fame in Hollywood. In fact, the entire time I watched Jack in the movie, I kept thinking to myself that he was loosely a representation of one of the most popular late night TV hosts of today, Jimmy Kimmel. What most people don't know about the Jimmy Kimmel Show is that it's actually hosted inside of the Hollywood Masonic Lodge, a place where members of the world's largest secret society meet. Literally, while people are there watching the late night show, a Masonic meeting could be taking place in another room. Jimmy Kimmel is a Mason, and just like Jack, he made a deal to become one of the biggest TV personalities. This movie isn't a case of life imitating art, it's a case of art imitating life. This is the price of fame shown to us right in this movie, and people don't even realize it. This movie has it all: the secret society of the elite, the Bohemian Grove, the satanic cults performing sacrifices, the celebrity selling his soul for fame and fortune. They even show us sacrifices for success. It's all laid out as they didn't attempt to hide anything.
We'll always exalt the prince of the world because their deeds are dark.
Made me want to go back to Satan worship.
Well,
It worked for me. It got me a career.
So I signed a deal with Satan in my room, and I was to.
CBS doesn't condone this, and then
I wanted to get famous no matter what. And, you know, then I forgot that I had this deal with Satan and everything. And then I got really famous.
What do you think? Mitch McConnell next? That could be good, doesn't it? Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role.
However, there's no way an artist can sign a contract in Hollywood without exchanging their soul.
Strange, and I'm like, if you don't get this right now, I swear to Lucifer.
Did I sell my soul? I sold my soul for you. Now figure that out. Somebody, I sold my soul for you. This is what happened to Katy Perry. She started her career giving praises to the Most High.
I loved Oh Happy Day. I loved You Guys on the Sparrow. Great. It was a great upbringing for me because obviously I have the discernment between right and wrong now.
But when she signed the contract in Hollywood, and all of a sudden she went from praising the Most High to confessing that she sold her soul.
I kind of sang about, you know, what was going on in my life at 15, and that's how I got introduced to the music industry. I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music. Yeah. But it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
And when she started to confess this, her life took a turn for the worse. So later, Katy Perry, during an interview, she admitted that she was being tormented.
It's hard because I feel ashamed that I would even like have those thoughts. You know, I feel that low or that depressed. But I so badly want to be Catherine Hudson that I don't even want to look like Katy Perry anymore sometimes.
Now, if you pay attention to what's happening to these celebrities in the spirit, you're going to realize that prosperity does not add value to your life. Because if that were true, Katy Perry would be one of the happiest persons in the world. See, their riches came with torment. There is no way the prince of the world going to let them enjoy this. But on the other hand, there are people who are not wealthy according to the world's standard, but they have joy, they have peace, they have happiness, their hearts are fulfilled because they have a relationship with the Most High. What did Esau do? He sold his birthright for something to fulfill his flesh. And according to Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 17, it says, for you know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. And this is a parallel of what we're seeing right now. People are selling their birthright for the things of this world. And every now and then reality hits them. Many a time they will break down, but they don't make any.
Programme à vendre nos âmes pour avoir quelque chose de bon. Mais c'est rien de bon parce que au fond de nous, c'est qu'est-ce qu'on cherche la relation avec Dieu. C'est qu'est-ce qui a été brisé. On essaie de la colmater avec l'argent, la popularité, le sexe, la drogue, l'alcool, name it. On essaie de le remplacer par ça, mais ça remplace rien. Le vide est encore là parce que la relation n'est pas faite, a été brisée avec Dieu. Fait qu'il faut que tu fasses ta relation avec Dieu. Les ministres de l'Ontario, Poutine, hein, ceux qui suivent le soleil avec qui voit tout, Zelensky avec les doigts, Macron avec la pyramide. Donald Trump avec Jim Carrey qui les expose ici. Katy Perry ici, qui est possédé, puis qui parle avec un œil. Tous des symboles maçonniques et sataniques qui représentent la Grande Loge féminine de France, de la franc-maçonnerie. Nous prions ensemble un Dieu que certains nomment Lucifer pour discuter de notre préconisation des... Elle dit haut et fort là, qu'elle prie. À quel point que c'est malade, là. Mm. Taylor Swift, quand elle a commencé, comment que ça finit, hein? Au début, elle était une femme de la campagne, puis maintenant, c'est une femme satanique. Comment que l'industrie de la musique change, là, ceux qui sont là-dedans. Nouveau, un peu d'histoire. Charles Sirois, le propriétaire de nouveau. Mm.
Bonjour, bonjour! Né, à l'intérieur!
Oh, beau costume médiéval.
Une petite surprise.
Ah, OK, des surprises de ce genre-là. Tu fais d'autres cordages?
Oui, c'est ça. Oui, tu vois?
Ben oui.
Ça, c'est mes...
Tes passe-temps?
Moi, comment on va dire ça? Ça, c'est un auspice, pas la suspension. Ceci, ben, c'est des petits fouettes, là, pour s'amuser, avoir du plaisir.
Tu fais des coquineries.
Ah, pas de ça, là, tu sais. Eh oui, je fais des petites coquilleries.
Un petit fouet pour aller en cuisine? Oh!
Tu recules, là, hein?
Comment t'as rencontré ton chum?
Un site de fétiche.
Comment ça s'est passé?
J'avais écrit, tu quelqu'un qui veut m'attacher?
Puis, qu'est-ce qu'il a répondu?
Il m'a répondu, je te ferai ça, moi.
Bon, t'avais pas dit que c'était une recette secrète de mère en fille?
Bière du Nouveau-Brunswick. Bière Caillouche. Pour le cocktail, je vous invite à soit choisir une bière qui vient du Nouveau-Brunswick, une Alpine, ou bien un Blue Lagoon qui est faite avec du vodka québécois. Bonne soirée tout le monde! Enjoyez, puis bon appétit. Merci beaucoup. Regardez les dessins, puis choisir une tasse qui vous assire.
Faut trouver un dessin qui nous représente.
Oui.
Dès que j'ai vu le napron, je me suis garochée dessus parce que c'est comme je me représente.
T'es contente?
Oh yes, je suis prête. Cette semaine, je vous ai parlé un petit peu de cordes. Y a-t-il quelqu'un de vous autres qui s'est intéressé? Venir avec moi?
On y va?
On y va? La chambre rouge. Mangez de là en avant. Juste mettre à genoux. Avec les mains en avant.
C'est quelque chose que j'adore faire et me faire attacher.
Juste avant de que ça soit, j'ai ton consentement?
Oui, j'ai adoré aussi que Christelle demande haut et fort. J'ai ton consentement.
Pour connaître les recettes bien ficelées de Christelle, elles sont disponibles sur nouveau.ca ainsi que sur
Avec tous les
description.
signes sataniques, maçonniques et blablabla. Hein. C'est dans le temps ancien, on aurait des chars volants et des colonies sur la Lune en 2024. Non, on a des travestis, on a des drag queens, puis on a beaucoup de styles de sexe. Homme, femme, asexué, homme qui pense qu'une femme, une femme qui pense que c'est un homme. Ah, ça, on en reviendra ça là-dessus. Les derniers mots de ceux qui ont servi Satan, ça en dit long aussi. Ça, c'est le concours de talent à Eurovision. C'est une transe qui fait sur un pentacle, qui chante, puis qui se fait aller, puis c'est elle qui a gagné. Juste pour vous dire à quel point que c'est satanique, qu'est-ce que les télévisions et les médias aiment maintenant. Puis ils veulent propager, ils veulent qu'on s'aille vers Satan, puis qu'on loue un culte à lui. Comme ici, la sorcière queer irlandaise veut gagner, c'est ça, les 17 en haut. C'est un sorcier. Pas une sorcière, c'est un sorcier.
You really need to start doing words. If you put an S in front of words, it becomes swords. And that's what words are. They're cutting. They can cause you great trouble. Humans are word control creatures. So we need to establish what words mean. When we talk about law, there's a Roman maximum in law that says, for he that would be deceived, let him. Simply meaning, if you are so ignorant as to be deceived, then that's your business. That's your problem. So you need to do your homework and find out what
Voilà.
words,
Tu dois faire tes recherches, tu dois faire...
especially in relation to law and government, because there is a world of occultism that is operating today throughout the world in which you use certain words, and when those words are used in a court, they don't mean the same thing at all.
Mm.
All right, guys. Music artist Ariana Grande admitted to something that is extremely alarming. Watch this.
Oh my God, I wish I brought them.
Yeah, what is that? Are you just walking around set looking to do your research?
Every day. No, they come to me.
Oh, interesting.
They come to me.
You are a witch.
I am indeed. The witchiest witch. Something happened recently that I...
Je suis une sorcière, je suis la meilleure des sorcières. C'est ça qu'elle dit, Ariane Grande. Elle est rendue de même à cause des programmes qui ont rentré en elle. Tu sais, genre, dans les vidéos, tu vois plusieurs visages, mais il y a plusieurs entités en elle à cause de ce qu'ils ont fait à elle. Avec les traumatismes, tous les démons sont rentrés en elle comme ça. Fait que pour ça qu'elle est une sorcière, parce que ces démons-là donnent des puissances.
I actually couldn't wrap my head around. I need to remember it. I need to remember it.
To be fair, you couldn't wrap your head around it. So.
It was the witchiest thing.
You all heard it for yourself. Ariana Grande confessed that she's in covenant with the prince of this world. However, I'm not surprised because throughout her career, she has identified herself as a person who associates darkness in her music and videos. In one of her songs, she called the Most High a woman, and notice she's sitting on top of the earth. See, when artists exchange their souls, the prince of the world elevates them to the top of the world. See, throughout Ariana Grande's career, she has been using her influence to lead her fans into bondage. Now take a look at what she's sitting inside of. This is a common sign when a person is in alignment with the prince of this world. Take a look at Jay-Z. Take a look at Kanye West. Notice their hand gesture resembles Ariana Grande's hand gesture. And also, it resembles the image that's in the background. Ariana Grande, she admitted that she associates
through their song. Like thinking, I've never heard anything. Maybe it's because some of the messages you actually can't until you put that. Some people might be familiar with this because this is a thing called backmasking. Backmasking is a recording technique where it's purposefully recorded backwards so that people can then...
Quand tu penses que tu écoutes la chanson correctement, mais spirituellement, ils sont en train de te faire écouter quelque chose d'autre.
Straight up scary. Most of them are them. What are some of them? The first song I'm going to talk about, the message actually isn't that subliminal. It's right there under our nose. And it's a little song called Hotel California by the Eagles. Know it? That is exactly how I am when I'm listening to songs. But have you actually tried to listen to the lyrics and try to figure out what they're saying?
No, not ever.
People think this song is actually about cults, human witchcraft. Am I missing anything? No, that'll demon and human. So now that you know what people think the song is about, the next time you hear it, the lyrics might stick out to you. There's also a part in the song where when you play it backwards, it sounds like he's saying. Some people think that this is him saying like stuff, deal with the devil and
The devil takes 20% and you have to mention him in all of your songs.
Similar to the theory that musicians sell their soul to the devil, there's also a lot of messages that people believe are connected to the Illuminati, which makes sense. I mean, there's another theory that's super popular that celebs are involved, the Illuminati. Makes sense that they're trying to tell us secret messages in songs. Let me tell you about this song called Big Poop by a pop singer named Nelly Furtado. At some point in this song, Big Poop can hear a message when you play backwards. It says, now, I don't know if you're aware of the Illuminati theory or know much about it, but the number 13 is big and important in the Illuminati. And I mean, if you think about it, not many hotels have floor 13. Maybe there is a floor 13 that they just don't make accessible to the public elevator, but it's actually held. Then there's the song The Climb by the Fire. I'm sure you grew up with the song. I did. It was always playing on Disney Channel. Well, at the very end of the song, when you play it backwards, there is a creepy message. And I feel like it has to do with the Illuminati.
Ruining my childhood.
Let me read to you what it sounds like.
Find me. Help me, God. I am lost. Help. Help me.
And I listened to this myself, and it clearly sounds like she's saying words. Like,
when it's backwards? Oh, no.
I know. And it makes sense. Like, people think that Disney is also super involved. Maybe this was a cry out for help from Miley. So now I'm going to move on to a band called The Beatles. Are you aware that Paul McCartney was killed and then replaced by a doppelganger?
No.
Well, that is a theory, and a lot of fans believe this for good reason. There are a lot of messages in many of their songs talking about it.
My thing is, if you have a secret, I would forget it. But when you have fans that are so dedicated.
Let me give you some examples of the songs they have that have secrets. In their song, I'm So Tired, when you play backwards, you can clearly hear Paul is dead. And there's even more. In Revolution number 9, you can hear them say, turn me on. Turn me on. That is weird.
Very. Even if that one's not about Paul, that's just like weird. It's all that's about.
There's one more I'm going to mention, and it's in Strawberry Fields Forever. Towards the end of the song, you can hear Lennon say, I bury Paul. So what? Yeah. So obviously that proves that that theory is real. The fact that so many of these songs have messages that seem to be correlated is very weird and suspicious. How is that just a coincidence?
Why are you confessing to your crime in a song? Don't do that.
And to make things even fishier, Lennon was actually asked about what was said at the end of Strawberry Fields Forever, because all his fans were like, yeah, dude, we heard that. His response was, I actually said cranberry sauce. That is like 1,000 times weirder than saying I buried Paul.
I buried Paul. Cranberry sauce.
This isn't even scratching the surface of how many songs are out there with secret messages. And I don't know, maybe the next time you're listening to a song and you hear something weird or out of place, or that just straight up sounds like shit.
C'est Aleister Crowley qui a commencé le backtracking, qui a enseigné ça aux affaires de son.
Literal witch. Literal witch.
Can you do a tarot card reading for me?
Oh my God, I wish I brought them.
Yeah, what is that?
Ariana Grande is the latest celebrity to come out of the broom closet and proudly admit that she is a witch. Take a listen to this recent interview she did. It gets even more shocking.
Are you just walking around set looking to do your reading?
Every day. No, they come to me.
Oh, interesting.
They come to me.
You are a witch?
I am indeed. The witchiest witch.
This is so heartbreaking because when you go to fortune tellers, when you go to tarot cards, divination, you are actually getting fortunes, demonic fortunes from demons. They sprinkle good fortunes in there to get you hooked, but they speak curses and death and misfortune over you. The messages that are in tarot cards do not come from angels and they don't come from God, because God says in his words to not seek out fortune tellers. And that's what tarot card readings are. If we have a question, we can go to God directly because Jesus died on the cross to bridge the gap. You don't need to go to fortune tellers and psychics who the Bible says get their powers from demons. You can watch the full version of this video on my YouTube channel. The link is in my bio. I just did an entire deep dive of Ariana Grande, her music, and her relationship to witchcraft and how she incorporates it over her music. Her music is not safe to listen to as a Christian. We're going to talk about, yes, music actually does open the door to darkness and heaviness in your life, and we're going to say a prayer at the end. If you've listened to her music, open it.
Good evening, godless sodomites. Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role.
I'm very honored to be able to receive this amazing award from the depths of my soul.
I'm bringing the truth, John. We're in Hollywood, the belly of the beast.
On behalf of Amy, I'd like to thank the devil.
I want you to know that no one had less to do with this award than Jesus.
Kneel before your God.
Look at Jesus, this award is my God.
That's Satanism. Working real well. That's when I really saw how dark and so it was dark. I get creeped out. I get scared to death. And I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be. It was soulless. Yeah. Never see anything. And I still, every time I get out there, I feel like, oh man, I don't feel life out there. Yeah. I don't feel it at all. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like, could it? And then you find out later on the track that you were exactly on track.
There's a reason why you see people dressed up as Satan. Full-on visuals of Satan, people dressed as Satan, dressed as the demon, got upside-down crosses all on their clothes or pentagrams on their clothes. People think that this stuff is just a game. No, there's a reason why the entertainment industry is doing that, y'all.
Why do we increasingly hear acknowledgments to Satan during award ceremonies? What compelled John Cena to appear naked at the Oscars, sparking widespread speculation across the internet about this being part of an Illuminati humiliation ritual? How has Cat Williams's commentary on such matters proven eerily accurate? And why are demonic symbols becoming more prevalent across music videos and movies? This surge in overt gestures, symbols, lyrics, subliminal messages, and secret codes weaving through our entertainment isn't coincidental. It represents a deliberate move to normalize, even glorify, elements that once lurked in the shadows of our collective consciousness. These symbols, often brushed aside as mere artistic expression or the eccentricities of fame, carry deeper meanings that resonate with ancient rituals and esoteric beliefs. The question arises, why? Why this push towards integrating such imagery and themes into mainstream media? Is it a reflection of a shift in societal values? Or perhaps an influence wielded by hidden forces with agendas that extend beyond mere entertainment? The presence of these symbols and rituals, increasingly embedded within the fabric of popular culture, invites a closer examination of the messages being propagated to millions often subconsciously. The acknowledgement of darker forces, the peculiar rituals played out in public view, and the infiltration of esoteric symbolism in entertainment might well be a mirror reflecting a broader cultural and spiritual battle. This phenomenon beckons us to question the intentions behind these displays and the impact they have on the audience's psyche and society's moral compass. As we stand witness to this growing trend, it becomes crucial to discern the nature of the entertainment we consume and to understand the implications of the messages being delivered. The infiltration of such imagery into popular media is not just a matter of artistic freedom, but speaks to a larger narrative at play, challenging us to look beyond the surface and question the true purpose behind the spectacle. Let's begin. Our culture is seriously hooked on celebrities. When Oscar season comes around every year, we've got a whopping 30 to 40 million people glued to their screens, eager to see which movies snag the top honors for their storytelling, craftsmanship, and artistic flair. Everyone calls it the Oscars, and yeah, there's a bit of an obsession with it. Landing one of those golden guys is pretty much your ticket to stardom. What's interesting about this is in the Egyptian culture, they had this small statue that was all about the god Ptah. And when an Egyptian king passed away, they believed his spirit would shoot up to the Orion constellation, turning him into a star. Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? We're still into these symbols of excellence, just like they were. And Hollywood? Well, it's got its fair share of glitz with all these award shows popping up. The Grammys, the Emmys, you name it. They're all about celebrating different slices of the entertainment world. But deep down, they're pretty much the same deal. Just listen to how Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert talk about these awards. It's all part of the fascination we have with recognizing greatness.
Good evening, godless sodomites.
What are you doing?
I'm bringing the truth, John. We're in Hollywood, the belly of the beast.
You can't just read the prompter?
I'm reading the prompter in here.
Madras.
It warps the minds of our children and weakens the resolve of our allies.
We're here to honor achievement in that category.
By giving you a golden idol to worship. Kneel before your God!
You see, Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart, they're totally clued into their place in this modern-day Babylon we call Hollywood. And here's something you might find interesting. Jim Carrey's on the same page. At a completely different award show, he was echoing the same kind of vibes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here tonight, as all of us are, to pay tribute to an American icon, an actor, a filmmaker, and truly one of my personal heroes, Mr. Clint Eastwood. I'm also here because the AFI is paying me $20 million and $3, making me the highest paid megalomaniacal boy king in all of Babylon.
When Kathy Griffin accepted her Emmy Award, she made it crystal clear who her god is now.
A lot of people come up here and they thank Jesus for this award. I want you to know that no one had less to do with this award than Jesus. He even helped me up bit. If it was up to him, season a lot of you up here with that damn dog. So all I can say is, look at Jesus, this award is my God.
It's fascinating when you dive into the origins of the word Oscar. Its roots are in Scandinavian and Old English, where it translates to divine strength or divine spear. Divine suggests something of, from, or resembling a god, while a spear is recognized as a weapon. Could it be that Satan is employing these celebrities and movies as godlike weapons against us? Until 1999, the Oscars took place in a venue known as the Shrine, established by William Florence and Walter Fleming, both prominent Scottish Rite Freemasons. Hollywood's fascination with Freemasonry isn't a secret. Icons like Gene Autry, John Wayne, Duke Ellington, C.C. DeMille, Nat King Cole, Clark Gable, Walt Disney, and Oliver Hardy, among others, have all been linked to it. The involvement of many celebrities with Freemasonry has been openly acknowledged. In Morals and Dogma, a seminal work by Albert Pike, There's a passage on page 321 where Freemasons declare who their God is, describing Lucifer, the light bearer, in paradoxical terms as a bearer of light, despite being a figure of darkness, a concept that challenges conventional perceptions and suggests a deeper symbolic significance to their beliefs. When Life is Beautiful received its Oscar, a wide shot of the stage inadvertently revealed Masonic symbols incorporated into its design. Elements such as the checkered floor, archways, and a sun motif all resonate with Freemasonry symbolism, mirroring what's found on a Masonic tracing board, a tool used within the fraternity for educational purposes. These symbols subtly communicate who is behind the organization. Following the Oscars move in 1999 to the Kodak Theater, these Masonic elements continue to be a part of the stage's design, with sun motifs in the ceiling, checkered patterns on the stage, and arches being prominently featured. The exterior of the Kodak Theater includes references to the Ishtar Gate and Babylonian deities, drawing inspiration from the 1916 film Intolerance, which recreated Babylon's set, including its iconic elements like the elephants, the Ishtar Gate, and Babylonian gods. This area around the Kodak Theater, labeled the Babylonian Court, along with the design elements that include an unmistakable representation of the Tower of Babel on the stage during the 2016 Oscars, underscores a deep-seated recognition of their origins and affiliations. Through these symbols and references, it becomes clear that those within this organization are well aware of their standing and the influences at play. Hear what Mel Gibson has to say about Hollywood. His unique focus on Jesus through films about Christ's life might just be his way of shedding light on the truth he perceives within the industry. It seems as though signs are everywhere, pointing to deeper truths and narratives interwoven into Hollywood's very fabric. By pausing to look and listen carefully, we start to see these messages for what they are, peeling back the layers to reveal the core of what's often concealed. Staying vigilant and discerning enables us to decode these signs and understand the reality beneath the surface.
When I came over here, I was, oh God, I was in my mid-20s. Right. The first time I really came over here. You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand. Right. And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me. And I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be. Because a whole place can't be like, you know, weird town, you know, where the stranger wanders in and all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them and they tell you don't go into the house on the hill. And it's like that. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like, could it? And then you find out later on the track that you were exactly on track with a lot of this stuff. Not specifically on track, but that you could, that some of your worst nightmares were real at the time. And you think,
even Jim Brewer has something to say on the matter. And folks, it's crucial to acknowledge that numerous individuals echo similar sentiments across the web. Yet, it's imperative not to be sidetracked by the fleeting distractions of TikTok or the latest TV narratives, for these are the mechanisms that maintain our diversion. When we do stumble upon revelations like these, our knee-jerk reaction is often disbelief. It must be fake. Nobody discusses this. This skepticism is indicative of how deeply we've been lulled into complacency, programmed by their movies, their music, and the broader entertainment culture. Pay attention to Jim Brewer's insights.
Then the real Hollywood came. And I'll tell you what, I'll let you in on a little something. I'm not going to drop names.
Okay.
But I'll never forget, these are black producers, a guy named Kevin Brown and Andre Brown. And he was later on 30 Rock, but they would come to us and they would tell us about vanity and losing your mind in Hollywood and be careful. And they came back from Hollywood to try and expand us. And they sat us down and they're like, you ain't gonna believe what we saw. I'm like, what did you see? And they said, we saw so-and-so, huge name, so-and-so, huge name. See, now you're telling stories. Yeah. But I never forgot that. 3 years later, this name. Oh, oh.
So, really, does television have an impact on us? It goes beyond being just entertainment. We often hear people claiming, yeah, but it's just entertainment. It doesn't affect me. I know what's good for me, and I can discern the bad. Take Kevin Smith, for instance, a writer and director known for his contributions to pop culture through movies. He's behind films like Clerks and Dogma, which starred Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. In a moment, I'll share with you. He's speaking at a conference about his approach to filmmaking, specifically how he embeds subtle messages within his work.
You put it out there and hopefully they get it. I always like to think of it as like I've got them sitting there, whip a little message at them, whip a little moral at them, whip a little of what my view of the world is, because that's what every good filmmaker does. And we'll lead the world into the 21st century. And I'll make a profit on their backs.
Here, Kevin Smith openly acknowledges his intention to incorporate moral messages to whip a little things at them. This candid admission highlights the underlying influence that creators wield through entertainment, shaping perspectives under the guise of mere amusement.
I really dug the faith when I was a kid, and then as I got older, started struggling with it, as most people. I appreciate the message, and I appreciate who Christ was and what Christ did, but I'm not really into the dogma. Meanwhile, many years ago, a bunch of Grecians and Egyptians held their books to be the word of gods, and now we read their literature and chuckle at silly stories. And will someone one day read our books and chuckle at silly stories? And if that's the case, then is there a God? Did we just create God? Did somebody create God so that I would quit asking questions? And that's kind of where the idea came from, working on Dogma, by writing Dogma.
Harvey Weinstein, the executive producer and former owner of Miramax Films, commented on the impact of movies. They have given Americans acceptance of things I don't think they would have embraced. Maybe they were tricked into it by an exciting marketing campaign, but when they came out of it, they came out different. His words, shared with Entertainment Weekly, imply movies' potent ability to alter perceptions and norms under the guise of entertainment. David Putnam, the screenwriter behind The Mission, underscores the influential power of cinema, stating, "Movies are powerful, whether they're good or bad. They tinker around inside of your brain. They steal upon you in the darkness of the cinema to form or conform social attitudes. In short, cinema is propaganda." This assertion highlights cinema's roles not just as a source of entertainment, but as a tool capable of molding public opinion and societal attitudes, often without the audience's full awareness.
Oscar isn't like an award. One or two awards, not a lot. It's very different from the 25-yard swings because it's mythic. It has nothing to do with reality.
Mix images and we interpret images is to suggest the complex relationship between imagination and memory. We present certain images within a different context, and in a different context, they have a slightly different meaning. And I think the suggestion there is that he's able to manipulate the meanings of certain memories or manipulate his own interpretation of certain memories according to his present circumstance.
Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan, had a fascinating take on television. He saw it as a primary conduit for what he considered the new satanic religion's widespread adoption. LaVey went on to compare the TV set to a satanic family altar, observing its evolution from a small, fuzzy screen in the 1950s to the massive entertainment centers of today that span entire walls with multiple monitors. He provocatively called the TV set this satanic family altar. Deepening this analogy, he even likened the presence of an antenna on homes to having a steeple, drawing a parallel with churches. This analogy highlights LaVey's perspective on the significant impact television has on shaping the dynamics of modern family life and values, attributing to it a cultural and spiritual depth that goes beyond mere entertainment. This, according to him, is occultism in its most overt form.
Occultism finds that with automation, with advances in technology, that their roles as human beings are much lessened a great deal, are much less viable than ever before. So as a result of this, they have set themselves up in sort of a minor godhead role, a god role, a goddess role, in a specious or rather illogical at times form of importance, of sense of importance.
Reflecting on this, after consuming countless movies and shows featuring these actors, one has to ponder, what exactly have we allowed into our minds? Even the etymology of the word entertainment is telling. Enter, meaning to go into, tain, implying to hold or possess, and ment, indicating a state or condition. Putting it together, it translates to an act of entering to possess and maintain in a state of possession. It seems we're engaging in 100% sorcery by this definition. Have you ever taken a closer look at the themes threading through the movies featured on the covers of American Cinematographer magazine? There's a pattern that might catch your attention. Many of these films delve into the mystical, exploring realms of sorcery and the arcane. While not every film featured explores these themes, the prevalence is striking and sparks curiosity. What could be the story behind these production companies' fascination with such themes? This observation invites us to explore deeper into the symbols and meanings behind some of the industry's most prominent logos, setting the stage for a revealing journey. DC Comics, a powerhouse in superhero cinema, piqued my interest, leading me to delve into the significance of its emblem, influenced by insights from Walter Veit's analysis of symbolism. Although not making a direct accusation, the resemblance of their logo to symbols associated with the moon goddess Diana, notably the crescent moon and star, which in certain traditions represent white witchcraft and, when inverted, Satanism, presented a compelling parallel worth considering. Moreover, Phoenix Pictures and Legendary Pictures present logos steeped in symbolism. The former's emblem, featuring a phoenix set against flames, symbolizes rebirth from ashes, suggesting themes of fire and divinity, often associated with sun worship. The latter's logo, a Celtic knot, carries roots in Mesopotamian symbolism, linked to protective spells and the invocation of deities from the earth's four corners, embedding a layer of meaning that transcends mere artistic choice. In observing the logo of Jerry Bruckheimer films, the imagery of lightning striking a tree struck a chord, leading me down a path of exploration into the symbolism within the Kabbalah, where such images are emblematic of self-enlightenment, marrying the raw power of thunder and lightning with the structured growth of the tree, thereby hinting at a mystical interpretation of the natural world as a force of creation. Now, I'm not claiming that Jerry Bruckheimer is deeply involved in this, but the similarity is strikingly close. Columbia Pictures, adorned with the image of the goddess Columbia, initially led me down a mistaken path, equating her with the goddess Athena. However, further investigation clarified her identity, deepening the intrigue with the realization that the torch she carries, within the context of certain occult interpretations, symbolizes Lucifer as the bringer of enlightenment, positing the flame as a beacon calling forth celestial spirits towards a new epoch of creation under his auspices. This revelation, derived from a passage concerning the torch's significance in occult traditions, underscores the multifaceted layers of symbolism that permeate the visual identities of these cinematic institutions, inviting viewers to ponder the broader implications of the imagery that pervades the entertainment landscape.
Comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati. For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh, so you don't know what's really going on.
With the surge of supernatural movies hitting the screens, it's timely to delve into the superhero genre first. What exactly does being a superhero entail? Where did the concept of recounting tales of superhuman prowess originate? Diving into the definition of a hero reveals a man of distinguished courage or ability, admired for his brave deeds and noble qualities, a description steeped in classical mythology. A hero is also described as a being with godlike capabilities and beneficence, often elevated to divine status. This description subtly suggests that superheroes might just be modern iterations of ancient deities. To explore this notion further, Let's watch some movie clips, then delve into the portrayal of gods within these narratives.
Victor, you always like God. That's not a God.
Gods are selfish beings, fly around in little red capes and don't share their power with mankind.
Power. It's good. Lose yourself to it. What if we got some power for a reason? Something is one tower.
You either die a hero or you live while see yourself become the villain. They could be a great people, Kal-El, they wish to be. They only lack the light to show the way. For this reason, above all, their capacity for good. I have sent them you, my only son.
Greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. The narratives of comic books and their cinematic adaptations frequently draw on biblical parallels, weaving tales around themes of divinity and godlike figures. But to what end? This fascination with the divine within pop culture prompts reflection on its significance to our collective consciousness. Reflecting on the Great Controversy, it's recounted that, as the crowning act of the great drama of deception, Satan himself will personate Christ. In different parts of the earth, Satan will manifest himself among men as a majestic being of dazzling brightness, resembling the description of the Son of God given by John in the Revelation 1:13-15. The glory that surrounds him is unsurpassed by anything that mortal eyes have yet beheld. The shout of triumph rings out upon the air. The Christ has come! The Christ has come! The depiction of Satan as an entity capable of emulating the divine glory to a degree unparalleled by mortal experience, and his proclamation as the Messiah echoes long-standing prophetic warnings. This narrative is familiar, isn't it? The anticipation of Satan's ultimate masquerade as Christ resonates through these tales, inviting us to question the deeper implications of our fascination with beings of otherworldly power. What implications do superhero movies, particularly those like Superman, have in the broader context of myth and divinity? Superman, a creation of two Jewish writers from Cleveland, Ohio, in 1933, offers an interesting case study. The emphasis on their Jewish background is relevant here due to the use of distinctly Jewish names throughout the comic. For instance, Superman's Kryptonian name, Kal-El, translates from Hebrew as all that is God, or totally God. Furthermore, the name of Superman's human alter ego, Clark Kent, carries its own implications. Clark originates from Old English, meaning clergyman or learned man, while Kent could be interpreted as bright or white, potentially alluding to the Kenites from Genesis, who were the enemies of Israel and descendants of Cain. Superman's adversary, Lex Luthor, also has a name rich in meaning. Lex in Latin translates to law, hinting at a deeper symbolic rivalry. The name could be seen as a nod to Alexander, implying leader of men, and Luther could reference either warrior or be a play on Martin Luther, the reformer. This begs the question, could Superman, with his divine name and clergyman-like alter ego, be interpreted as a godlike figure in opposition to the law? This interpretation gains further complexity when considering storylines like The Beast from Krypton, where Superman, feeling burdened by his role as humanity's savior, controls other superheroes to enact destruction upon the human race. This narrative twist not only presents Superman in a light far removed from divinity, but also flirts with apocalyptic themes. Despite these darker storylines, promotional materials for Superman films have drawn direct parallels to Christ, with phrases like, "I sent you my only son," used in trailers, reinforcing the messianic undertones of his character. This juxtaposition of themes invites a deeper reflection on the role of superhero narratives in our understanding of divinity, morality, and leadership. Exploring the realm of superhero narratives unveils a profound engagement with themes of divinity and morality. For instance, in Batman, Son of the Demon, and Fantastic Four, God War, the comics explicitly delve into the spiritual warfare that many hold to be a palpable reality. Similarly, Hellboy 2, builds on its predecessor's success by presenting a character reminiscent of Lucifer as the protagonist. This narrative choice is underscored by the tagline, "Believe it or not, he's the good guy," challenging traditional moral dichotomies. A snippet from the Hellboy 2 trailer subtly communicates a provocative message. Perhaps the figure historically vilified as Satan isn't inherently malevolent. The trailer teases with the unsettling presence of an unseen world, ripe with anger and mystery, and suggests that humanity's last hope might ironically be a character aligned with dark forces, further blurring the lines between good and evil as traditionally conceived. This brings us to a critical analysis model contrasting the characteristics of Christ with those of Lucifer. Christ is transparent about his identity, consistently benevolent, devoid of vanity, forgiving, and derives power from God. In contrast, Lucifer conceals his true identity, possesses a mutable nature, uses physical allure as a facade, seeks vengeance, and sources power from within. Applying this model to superhero characters reveals a striking alignment with the latter attributes, challenging the audience to reconsider the moral foundations of these beloved figures. X-Men provides a compelling case study, articulating the narrative of an existential conflict, reminiscent of the great controversy between good and evil. The dialogue acknowledges the historical turning points determined by clashes between opposing facets of human nature, framing mutants as both the perceived threat and the proposed cure. This narrative wrestles with the concept of sacrifice for a greater cause, echoing the enduring struggle between divine and demonic forces. The character Xavier, whose name evokes the notion of a savior, embodies uncertainty regarding the outcome of this cosmic conflict, a stark contrast to the assured victory promised in Christian eschatology. This portrayal subtly invites the audience to consider their stance in an implied cosmic battle, perhaps even suggesting a rallying cry for a final stand, not unlike Lucifer's defiance. This analysis prompts a reflection on the deeper messages embedded within superhero narratives, questioning whether these stories might subtly influence perceptions of morality, divinity, and our place within a cosmic struggle, ultimately leaving a lasting imprint that requires divine intervention to realign with spiritual truth. Is anyone familiar with this figure? This character represents Pan, a deity from Greek mythology known for embodying sexual deviance, rape, and torture. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, Pan is depicted as a Greek fertility god, part human and part beast, often linked with Faunus by the Romans. Traditionally considered the offspring of Hermes, Pan is portrayed as a robust, sensual entity adorned with goat-like features, including horns, legs, and ears. Over time, the portrayal of his human attributes become more pronounced. It's noteworthy that Christian representations of the devil frequently echo the imagery associated with Pan. Pan's realm was the wilderness, especially the mountains, where he oversaw shepherds and flocks, and was believed to induce baseless fear in humans, hence the term panic deriving from his name. Has Pan's Labyrinth come across anyone's radar? This film garnered significant acclaim at the 2006 Academy Awards. Guillermo del Toro approached to helm the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, opted out due to his departure from Catholic faith, feeling disconnected from the narrative of resurrecting Aslan the Lion. Instead, Del Toro directed Pan's Labyrinth, weaving a dark fairy tale that blends elements of C.S. Lewis's Christian allegory with other classic children's literature. Here's a peek at the Pan's Labyrinth trailer.
The legend speaks of the lost soul of a princess who will one day be reborn. In darkness, there can be light. In misery, there can be beauty. In death, there can be life.
Notice the inversion of concepts? There's death and life, beauty and misery. These reversals are hallmarks of Luciferian filmmaking. Pan, historically venerated alongside Lucifer, and the labyrinth as a metaphor for Lucifer's entanglements. Turning our attention to Philip Pullman, a distinguished author in children's literature. His work, The Amber Spyglass, clinched the 2001 Whitbread Book of the Year, marking the first instance a children's book received this honor. Northern Lights, another of his creations, won the Carnegie Medal in 1995 and was later hailed as one of the 10 most significant children's novels in 70 years by CILIP Carnegie Medal judges. In 2005, Pullman was awarded the Astrid Lindgren Memorial Award by Sweden, a recognition second only to the Nobel Prize in Literature, accompanied by a substantial prize. Pullman's stated aim, as he shared with the Washington Post, is to, I'm trying to undermine the basis of Christian beliefs. Mr. Lewis would think I'm doing the devil's work, even acknowledging that C.S. Lewis might view his efforts as doing the devil's work. Later, in an interview, Pullman boldly states, my books are about killing God. This brings us to The Golden Compass, a film adaptation of Pullman's work that sparked conversation for its bold stance on religious themes. The movie's promotional materials tease, there are worlds beyond our own. The Golden Compass will show you the way, echoing the belief in a transcendent reality. Let's delve into a clip from this film, paying close attention to its narrative and the portrayal of its fantastical elements, inviting reflection on the underlying messages being communicated to audiences, especially the younger demographic. To remove Christianity from our lives, all that's needed is to start with one generation and begin indoctrinating those generations. Millions might watch such films and come to believe
Ils
that
viennent de le
he could be
dire.
a friend.
Ils viennent de dire que pour enlever la chrétienté, enlever Dieu, faut que tu prennes la génération en dessous puis que tu la modes selon ton image. Fait que tout ce que nos arrière-grands-parents faisaient avec Dieu, ils ont essayé de nous le faire oublier à l'école, dans les vidéos, dans la musique et tout, pour que nous oublions Dieu et que nous allons pas vers Dieu. Tout est programmé. Ils disent que c'est des programmes, c'est des channels, c'est des chaînes qui vous t'y maintiennent dans la captivité de, de la divertissement. C'est ça que ça fait.
Into the Golden Compass, I found it features a device called an alethiometer, each symbol on it representing different concepts. For instance, the serpent symbolizes evil, guile, and natural wisdom. The sun signifies day, authority, and truth. The angel represents messengers, hierarchy, and disobedience. The Madonna embodies motherhood and feminine worship, and the apple denotes sin, knowledge, and vanity. These symbols, embedded with deep religious significance, are subtly introduced to audiences, particularly children, weaving a complex tapestry of ideas and beliefs. What about this character, Peter Pan, who intriguingly shares his name with the Greek god Pan? Reflect on the narrative of Peter Pan. He approaches the young girl with the proposition that echoes desires for eternal youth and freedom from responsibilities, urging her to leave her home with the caveat of never returning. This premise bears a striking resemblance to the tale often attributed to Lucifer's rebellion in heaven, offering a parallel narrative of seeking liberation from divine order, only to face eternal exile. The story of Peter Pan subtly revisits this theme, presenting it in a manner that resonates with the youthful longing for adventure, yet parallels a much darker, ancient narrative. And now, let's turn our attention to someone from the inside, someone who's seen it all and was even approached by the Illuminati, China McClain. For those following her on social media, it's no secret that she has been vocally critical of Hollywood's shadowy underbelly and the compromises celebrities are often forced into for the sake of fame and wealth. China, alongside her sisters Sierra and Lauren, seemed destined for stardom in the early 2010s, with their music group and roles in several films paving the way for what looked like flourishing solo careers. Of the trio, China was particularly poised for greatness, blessed with an array of talents from singing to acting, all complemented by a charismatic presence on camera that had producers lining up. Yet, at a crucial juncture, China chose to withdraw from the trajectory set before her. Her forthright reflections on the industry offer a rare glimpse behind the curtain, compelling us to pay close attention to her words and understand the pressures that lurk behind the spotlight.
Entertainment industry, it's about influence. There is a reason why you see people dressed up as Satan, full on visuals of Satan, people dressed as Satan, dressed as the demon, got upside down crosses all on their clothes or pentagrams on their clothes. People think that this stuff is just a game. No, there's a reason why the entertainment industry is doing that, y'all. They know good and doggone well that God exists. They also know that Satan exists. They're just counting on the fact that y'all don't know that. But either way, the things that you take in, that they're feeding you, those things affect you, whether you realize it in the moment or not. They affect you. That's why they do it. I'm not going to sacrifice the honesty in order to be politically correct. I can say whatever I have to say with respect, but I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it bluntly.
As we journey through the allure and glitz of Hollywood, the Oscars, and the myriad of movies and television shows that captivate millions worldwide, it's crucial to pause and consider the deeper currents flowing beneath. Our culture's fascination with celebrity and the relentless pursuit of artistic recognition may seem harmless, a mere celebration of talent and storytelling. Yet, as we peel back the layers, a more complex narrative unfolds, revealing connections to ancient symbols, hidden agendas, and narratives that challenge the very core of our beliefs. The resemblance of Hollywood's coveted trophies to symbols of divine strength, the subtle yet pervasive influence of Freemasonry within the industry, and the echo of ancient deities in the characters we adore hint at a concerted effort to weave a tapestry of ideas that resonate with a much darker philosophy. These elements, often dismissed as mere coincidence or the creative whims of artists, may indeed hold a more sinister intent, aiming to subtly shift our perceptions, beliefs, and values. Celebrities and insiders like Mel Gibson, Jim Brewer, and China McClain have raised their voices, sharing insights from their experiences within this glittering world. Their testimonies shed light on the pressures to conform, the sacrifices demanded in exchange for fame and fortune, and the moral compromises often hidden beneath the surface of success. These voices, emerging from the heart of the industry, urge us to look closer, to listen more intently, and to discern the messages being woven into the very fabric of entertainment. The narrative spun in movies and television shows, the characters brought to life on the screen, and the themes celebrated through awards and accolades are not merely for amusement. They are carefully crafted to engage, to enchant, and ultimately to influence. From the subtle to the overt, the entertainment industry wields a powerful tool in shaping culture, morality, and belief. As we stand at this crossroads, it's imperative to guard our hearts and minds, to critically evaluate the content we consume, and to recognize the potential for manipulation through the medium of entertainment. The warnings from within the industry, the parallels to ancient myths and occult practices, and the moral ambiguity celebrated through our modern myths call for renewed vigilance in our consumption of media. In light of these insights, let the revelations about the entertainment industry not only serve as a wake-up call, but also guide us back to a firmer foundation for our beliefs and values. If the journey through the labyrinth of Hollywood's glamour and the shadowy tales woven into its fabric doesn't compel us to seek refuge and truth in Jesus Christ, what will? This moment calls for an awakening to discern the truth amid the spectacle, urging us to anchor our lives in principles and a faith that remain unshaken by the ever-changing tides of cultural trends and blockbuster hits. This isn't merely an alert to the subtle influences at play, but an invitation to deepen our understanding and reconnect with Jesus Christ, offering us a compass to navigate through the noise and the allure towards a haven of genuine, unalterable truth. As the world chases after celebrity culture, it's important for us to remember the guidance directly from Jesus. In Luke 4:8, we're reminded, "For it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve."
Tell me how can I make it
Vous avez
when
compris? Tout est fait par... Tout est fait pour que vous vous éloigniez de Dieu, que vous oubliez Dieu, que votre esprit soit pris par des enchantements, des spells, pour que vous vouez un culte à Satan ou que vous voulez faire partie de ça, que vous soyez jaloux d'eux autres parce qu'ils ont toute la popularité, l'argent, puis tout. Mais il n'y a rien au monde qui va remplacer la relation avec Dieu. Parce que si vous pensez que vous allez être capable de le faire, détrompez-vous. Ariana Grande pensait être capable de le faire, puis maintenant, elle a tellement de démons en elle que c'est une sorcière. Taylor Swift, la même affaire. Fait que si tu penses que tu vas être capable de t'en sortir et tout ça, c'est là, c'est là que je te dirais de ne pas faire ça, de revenir à la parole, de revenir avec Dieu. Hein? Signe pédophile, hein, qu'on voit dans les symboles. C'est no Wonderland. Tous des symboles qu'on voit sur les Huggies. Disney était avec Alistair Crowley, des symboles. Tous des symboles qui sont dans nos faces puis qu'on comprend pas, même qu'on voit plus, on comprend. Madonna tombe sur le dos sur la scène de Seattle. Vous voyez le gros soleil noir? Le soleil noir représente le Satan. Les nazis SS avaient ces tatous-là. Hein, comme il dit ici. Le soleil noir, le vril, les amis, orgone, le soleil noir, c'est ça. Ça représente Satan. Parce qu'elle représentait Satan sur scène, puis elle se moquait de Dieu et tombée sur scène. Pour voir à quel point que, tu sais,
On the prison. Literally the same people, literally the same people who own the latest own private prison. The records that come out are really geared to push people towards that prison. It didn't make you write those lyrics. It's not about making.
fait que ceux qui ont les maisons de 10 contrôlent les prisons. Fait que la musique qu'ils font incite le monde à aller en prison. Fait que vous voyez à quel genre de roue que c'est? Ça fait une roue pour qu'ils se fassent du cash sur vous d'une façon ou d'une autre.
Can somebody write the lyrics? It's about being there as guardrails to make sure certain songs make it through and certain songs don't. Some records are made by committee, meaning record company guys sit around and tell the artists, this is hot, say that, do this. We're going to have this guy write the lyrics. We're going to have that. You have, the record company pushing the narrative, some social engineering going here to make sure those prisons stay full.
Boom! There it is. Another conspiracy proven true. And Bill Maher's just now figuring this out. Bill Maher, stupid son of a bitch over here, boys. Here he is sitting with Ice Cube going, you're telling me there's a vast conspiracy to destroy the black neighborhoods with gangsta rap? Yes, idiot. That was a conspiracy theory when I was a kid. Right? I remember hiding the Chronic under my bed, not necessarily the Smoke Boys, but the CD. What the hell's the CD? Shut up, kid. Get off my lawn, you son of a bitch. White kids smuggling gangsta rap in the early 90s. My parents didn't want me listening to music about drinking, doing drugs, and shooting rival gang members, rap gang members. My parents were like, nah, you probably should.
Angelina Jolie admet d'avoir participé à d'horribles rituels sanguinaires des Illuminati. Il y a longtemps, la star d'Hollywood et d'autres célébrités devaient rejoindre les Illuminati à train de semer l'industrie du divertissement. Et peu de gens du cercle intérieur de l'Illuminati comprennent vraiment ce que c'est la Latine. Ouais. « La pop star Britney Spears a récemment décrit en détail les abus sataniques qu'elle a subis aux mains de ses manipulateurs Illuminati 33e degré, franc-maçonnerie et luciférien. Un Illuminati doit faire un avec un ange déchu, doit se marier avec un ange déchu. Pendant les 13 années de sa mise en tutelle, notamment les rituels sexuels répugnants, ça fait rentrer les démons. Transfusion sanguine hebdomadaire, surtout, ça fait rentrer les démons. Et les expériences MK Ultra, ça en dit encore. La vidéo n'est plus disponible, hein. Vous voyez, la vidéo n'est plus disponible, mais l'article est encore disponible. Un fait sur place, lequel Angelini, 23 ans, révèle de véritables rouages d'Hollywood, les rituels secrets des Illuminati. Depuis tout à l'heure, je vous en montre. Depuis tout à l'heure, je vous montre ces choses-là. Hein, mais vous ne croyez pas. Mais là, vous avez tellement de preuves de différentes personnes. Pourquoi vous pensez que les Simpsons ont plus de pouvoir? Parce que un de ses producteurs est un Illuminati 33e degré. Hein, les cultes qu'en mer fait, puis tout, ils savent tout, puis ils prévoient tout est fait pour servir les besoins de la franc-maçonnerie, de Lucifer. Tout ça. Ah, tu vois, celle-là, je ne l'ai pas, parce qu'ils l'ont censuré. Ils censurent beaucoup de choses. Jason Momoa, pas de ses enfants, puis
It's true. Their weapon is censorship.
Whatever, just to stay your life. What God's there was the way I ride.
So we move from battlefield to battlefield. Do what we can to wake the rest of the world up.
Sun outside.
you got Biden there.
And we'll never give up. Even if we have to shake everyone awake.
Stein Island.
What keeps me up at night is this sensation that evil exists. Everyone just
Le Jason Momoa est si populaire d'après vous? Hein? Si populaire.
Check this out.
Divinity is not far enough to describe what we are trying to do. Now we are much better than the God of the Bible. I mean, in the Bible, you have
Meilleur que
the
de
people
la
of
Bible.
Israel do something wrong, God's become angry, drought, no water. And now Israel has built in recent years a huge desalinization factory on the shores of the Mediterranean. And most drinking water in Israel today actually comes from these plants, from these factories. So we can make God as angry as we like. I mean, he can stop the rains. We don't care. We still have water because science has managed to go way beyond expectations of the ancient Hebrew.
Where we are better than the God of the Bible. Such arrogance. You can see it echo directly the things that are talked about in the book of Genesis with the Tower of Babel. That we're going to be up unto God. We're going to be where God is. We're going to be like God, just like Satan said.
Qu'est-ce qu'il essaie de nous faire croire? Qu'est-ce qu'il essaie de nous faire faire? Puis si on fait ça, on est comme Satan, puis c'est comme ça que Dieu nous rejette.
Genesis chapter 3. I think we're getting close to God's prophetic calendar winding down. And as you can see, the spirit of Antichrist, as the Bible says, is already in the world. This man who is known as the prophet, could he become the false prophet talked about in Revelation 13, which drives people to the worship of the
Faux
Antichrist?
prophète, ça va être un politicien, puis pape.
Check this out.
Divinity is not far enough to describe what we are.
Voyez, il essaie de nous faire prendre pour des dieux.
And boys rich when there are starving kids.
It's wrong to think that because a person is making a lot of money, God is blessing them.
We live in a world of cause and effect. We live in a world of chance. And some people make a ton of money in some very immoral ways. And that does not mean that God is blessing it. It means they're shrewd, probably. They're also lucky. It points to the unfairness of life. Some of the most Christ-honoring people I know are struggling with poverty, and it's tragic. Second point, Jesus Christ commands us as his followers to be generous. And to be honest with you, that's one of the hardest ethical questions in my life. I was speaking at Harvard, and a student stepped out of the crowd and said, you know, Cliff, you got it so easy. Every time you need to make a difficult ethical decision, you just go running to your magical book, the Bible, and there God tells you how to live your life. I, as an atheist, I have to existentially struggle through difficult ethical questions. I looked that student in the face and said, you got to be kidding me. My wife and I are building a house right now. In light of the fact that people are starving to death today, and in light of the fact that we have the solution for that starvation, give money to buy food to feed those starving kids, am I supposed to buy this kind of appliance for my house or that kind? Does the Bible tell me whether to go out and buy a Kenmore or a Westinghouse dishwasher? How much money am I supposed to spend in my car? And if you think I go running to my magical book, the Bible, and there God tells me to get a Kenmore dishwasher, you're crazy. The Bible doesn't say that. The Bible calls me to enter a relationship with Jesus Christ and to pray for wisdom and to pray that he changes my heart so that I become more generous and I give more away to feed starving people. And yes, we do have the solution for starving. It's called give money to buy food, to bring it to kids, to put it in their mouths so that they also have a better future. And Christ commands us as his followers to do that.
Old footage from a 1965 Paul Harvey prophecy has just resurfaced.
Vous avez compris? C'est quoi un disciple de Jésus?
Cassidy's arrested and he's charged with fourth-degree criminal mischief. He's been released, and Americans are rallying behind him. Let's bring in Michael Cassidy and his attorney, Davis Yance. So, Michael, was this something that you plotted, or is this something you just did on the spur of the moment?
Thanks for having me, Jesse. This was certainly a spur of the moment kind of thing. I saw that.
Fait que vous voyez, dans le Capitole en Iowa, dans le Capitole où il y avait le gouvernement d'Iowa, le gouverneur, tout ça, ils ont mis une statue de Baphomet de Satan dessus. Là. Puis lui, le jeune homme, qui était un des gars qui travaillait là, a décidé de découper la tête de la statue. Et il a été arrêté, puis là, il passe en cours.
This was going on. I was surprised that the legislature allowed it up and that they didn't do anything to take it down, just to take it down. And so I got to the Capitol and I didn't know what to expect when I got there. Just like that scene in Illinois with tons of people chanting and whatnot. I didn't know what was going to be there, but nobody was there, and it offended me. It touched a nerve. It was, righteous indignation. I call it, Christian civil disobedience. And yes, I took the statue that was there and for the idol, whatever you want to call it, and then it's no longer there.
How precisely did you decapitate Satan?
Pulled his head off.
Just pulled the head right off and let it crash on the ground. Cassidy's arrested.
Vous avez compris? Tout est fait pour que vous aimiez le mal, que vous alliez vers le mal, que vous ne laissez pas de place à la vérité, à l'amour de Dieu, à Dieu. Tout est fait que si je vous parle de Jésus-Christ, vous allez vous rebeller parce qu'il y a des esprits qu'à travers les enchantements de ce que vous avez écouté vont vous dire que j'ai tort, vont vous dire de fermer, vont vous dire de vous enlever devant cette vidéo-là. Mais n'oubliez pas que je vous montre la vérité, que tout est programmé pour vous faire aimer Satan. La seule façon de s'en sortir, c'est de couper les liens avec le monde extérieur, les films, la musique, puis se tourner vers Dieu. Se repentir en son Fils Jésus-Christ et le laisser vous guider à changer votre cœur en lui demandant pardon puis en l'acceptant comme votre sauveur. Moi, je vous montre juste la vérité. C'est qu'est-ce qui m'a sauvé. J'ai demandé la vérité dans mon cœur. Alors, je vous aime. Que le Seigneur vous bénisse, qui vous donne qui brise toute illusion, mensonge sur vous au nom de Jésus-Christ, qui brise toutes les chaînes de la captivité au nom de Jésus-Christ, puis qui vous guide dans sa voie, dans la voie de Dieu, qui est la justice, la charité, l'amour et la joie. C'est qu'est-ce qui est Dieu? Parce qu'il vous aime d'un amour infini. Il vous accorde sa grâce. Par sa grâce, vous pouvez être sauvé et amené à lui. Par sa grâce, il vous emmène avec lui, loin des ténèbres, et il vous protège. Par sa grâce, il a donné son Fils unique pour nous sauver. Alors, passez une belle journée, je vous aime. Le Seigneur Jésus soit avec vous.